Stephan Kirshisnik. All right. Barbecue enthusiast, also works in the oil industry as well. And we've got a very interesting story for you here today. Last week, when I was at the Bakken BBQ, ran into one of the barbecue teams that had a very interesting smoker. And we've got Stephan on the line to tell us a little bit more about that smoker. And kind of the very short headline of this is that this smoker was made out of a piece of the Dakota Access Pipeline. Stephan, talk to me a little bit about this smoker and how you guys came to obtain a piece of the pipeline.
Well, my father and I kind of always thought it'd be a cool idea to take one of our old propane tanks and modify it into a custom portable smoker. And the pipeline was coming through, and I kind of sat down and I drew up the prints for the smoker and everything, and I had one of my friends who's a better welder than I am. I gave him the plans, and he built the trailer and put the smoke box or the fire box onto the propane tank, and we cut everything out. And I figured with all the commotion and protesting going on with the pipeline, and I figured DAPL BBQ would be a fitting name for it.
And that's what you named this smoker, is that right? DAPL BBQ?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So is it more than a conversation piece, I guess? Is it the historical significance behind it? Talk to me a little bit about what some of the people have been commenting about, and just kind of some of the reactions you're getting from the DAPL smoker barbecue when you have them at community events and in competition.
I would say 99% of the people who see it love it. Mostly oil-filled people. I do some caterings and barbecue events, and it's a lot in the oil-filled related, and everyone loves it. They come up and they want to take pictures with it. When I first painted it and I was driving it home from Dickinson, I was actually stopped 3 times by people along the highway and at the C-store when I was getting gas, and they wanted to take pictures with it. But it's been very positive. A lot of people seem to like it. The Facebook page gets a lot of good reviews on it and good positive feedback. There's always some negative that comes with that, and I guess I brought that on myself with picking that name. But it is what it is. It's been a really positive experience so far.
Well, to me, the way that I look at it, and one of the reasons why I'm glad that you agreed to do this interview, was because really the Dakota Access Pipeline, the DAPL Pipeline, really became a slice of American culture. It's not only North Dakota culture, it became a slice of American culture. Did you get involved with that? And we don't have to get political by any means, but you work in the oil and gas industry. You have this a piece of the pipe now, which, in my opinion, can become kind of a little bit of a circus act. I mean, if I was, like Ron Ness or somebody in the like the Petroleum Council, I'd want you at my barbecue making hot dogs for everybody. I'd advertise that. The Dakota Access Pipeline smoker is going to be making our burgers today. People would come. People are taking photographs and that sort of thing. But did you get involved with it in any way, or did you just kind of keep out of it and just go to work and do your job?
I just mostly went to work and did my job. I kind of paid attention to what was going on with all the protests and whatnot, and there were so many lies and false accusations and false reports going around that pretty soon you just couldn't even pay attention to social media, because it's kind of like the mainstream media. You don't know what to believe anymore. And I have friends that live down there and everything, and after what I heard they were going through, and they live, I think, 6 miles away from where the main protest camp was, and after they told me what they were going through and what they were dealing with with the protesters and everything, it just it got way out of hand too early, and I just kind of kept to my own on it. But it wasn't a good protest. It wasn't a good experience or a good example of what North Dakota is, or the oil and gas industry.
Stephan Kirshisnik on the line with us, barbecue enthusiast, also works in the oil and gas industry, has a Dakota Access Pipeline smoker. What I mean by that is he's got a couple pieces of the Dakota Access Pipeline, and they retrofitted, welded it into an actual smoker. So let's talk about barbecue for just a second. Transitioning, Stephan Kirshisnik, barbecue enthusiast. Is the actual pipeline where you're grilling the meat, or is that where you're smoking the wood, I guess?
No, we use that as the firebox. And the way my smoker is set up, I built an offset smoker, just a plain Jane simple offset smoker. So I took a 500-gallon propane tank, and I mounted the pipeline, the piece of the pipeline, on one end of it at a lower unit, so the fire will burn lower and the heat will carry the smoke and the heat up through the cooking chamber of the propane tank and then out the smokestack on the other side. But I cooked hot dogs, brats, brisket, pulled pork, ribs, chicken. I've yet to do a whole hog. I think I might try my luck and try that sometime, but as of right now, I just, if you can, if it's any kind of meat, I'll put it on there and try to smoke it. I'll give her a shot.
And you mentioned earlier that the word catering. Are you doing catering now? I know that your full-time job is in oil and gas, but are you doing catering jobs with this too? Yep. I have some gigs lined up on the weekend. We've been doing some frac feeds. We got a lot of frac jobs going around by our place, and I've been hired by a couple companies to smoke brisket and pork butts and ribs and make some smoked beans, garlic bread, and some smoked mac and cheese, and we take it up there and we feed the frac crew. I've got some weddings lined up, and I believe I might have, or we have kind of like a little town celebration or something coming up, like along that sort of line. I guess, have you gotten the business to the point where you got a website, a phone number, or you just kind of doing mostly networking gigs?
Well, right now, with having a full-time job in the oil field, I'm not going to set up a web page or anything, or I don't want to get too over busy with it. But we made a Facebook page, and there's my numbers on that. If you're interested in anything, you can look on that, message me on that, or else call me. And the numbers are listed on that Facebook page, but it's more of a weekend thing or, like a Friday, Monday thing, whatever. Just whenever I can get time off of work, because it does take, to smoke a brisket on this compared to like a Traeger or an electric smoker with propane, you have to sit out there for 12 or 13 hours and watch that fire and watch that air intake and keep adding wood and keep that fire regulating so that cooking chamber is at around 225 to 250, somewhere in there. So it's not like just throwing a piece of meat on there and walking away. You have to sit out there for 13 hours, and you have to have all that wood cut and prepped and a pile of it built so you can adjust that fire accordingly.
No, I hear you. It's a lot of love goes into smoked meals, because you're right. It's temperature and time. Really, at the end of the day, that's what makes barbecue what it is. But what is the name of the Facebook page? Is it Dakota Access Pipeline Barbecue? I guess. What is the actual kind of impromptu name you put together for this? I should say name you put together for this impromptu barbecue company.
DAPL BBQ.
DAPL BBQ.
Yep. That's the Facebook page name, and if you just type in DAPL, it actually comes in as one of the top searches. And I didn't really think that through, but it actually kind of helps for publicity.
Oh, I think it's
a lot of people search for DAPL, and then you see DAPL BBQ, so kind of worked out in my favor.
Oh, I personally, I think it's a great gimmick. I think it's a great novelty. I think if, like, I were having a street dance, or if I was, like I said, if I was Ron Ness, the Petroleum Council, something like that, and we wanted to have somebody barbecuing there or something along those lines, I could see where within the oil and gas industry, this would definitely side on your favor. If it was, let's say it was down to 5 different food trucks or barbecue service type things, and here's one that can roll in with a piece of the Dakota Access Pipeline. Actually, I mean, how could you not go with that given what's just happened over the last couple of years? Do you know what I mean by that? To where you've got a great niche here and a great advantage in the oil and gas industry, I would think.
Well, it kind of worked out that way. I didn't really plan on it being like that, but yeah, over the last couple of months, it's really kind of taken off, and a lot of people have been calling. And like I said, I kind of only do weekend stuff because I'm working throughout the week, but it's fun and it's been busy. I mean, there's definitely a lot of interest in it, and I've been getting a lot of compliments, and a lot of people like the food. So it's just been a great experience overall.
Well, and that's what I think is so neat about it, is it truly is organic. There's absolutely no way anybody could have sat down and wrote a business plan of this. I mean, the simple fact that you got a piece of the pipe, just the sheer percentages and probabilities of that is just so astronomical. And then you put in there the whole cultural event behind it, and then your affiliation with the oil and gas industry. It's just, I mean, that's what makes it so neat. All the planets aligned, the sticks of opportunity were there, and enough people picked them up and grabbed them to where you can make a little hay while the sun is shining on this. We're going to wind down here. Stephan Kirshisnik, barbecue enthusiast, DAPL BBQ is his Facebook page. Do you ever see where maybe you might want to give this a try and maybe bring on an employee and do some events that are not on the weekend, or have you not even dreamed that far ahead yet?
No, I haven't really kind of thought that far ahead. If there's a big event or something worthwhile, I would definitely just take time off of work and go do it and everything. But for right now, my oil and gas job is what pays my bills and what puts food on the table for my family. Even though I got that DAPL smoking that puts food on it, but I gotta, I'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. And I'm gonna try to do some barbecue competitions. And my wife is from Missouri, and they always have a big barbecue competition down in Kansas City. And I told her maybe one year we might take a week and drive down there and see how we do. Just throw our name in the hat and see what happens, and kind of start doing that stuff maybe as we get older. But as of right now, I'm just kind of taking it day by day and seeing what happens.